On this episode, we break down everything you need to know about Disney's Memory Maker, including pricing, what's included, how it works, and where the best ride photos are taken across all 4 parks. Today's April 4th, 2025, and this is episode 760 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Hey everybody, here to let you know that our 4th annual Main Street 16 weekend is happening May 15th through the 18th at Walt Disney World, and we want you to be a part of it. We've got a limited room block at the Drury Inn near Disney Springs, and booking through Amy, our travel advisor with MEI Travel, gets you access to exclusive guest-only social events all weekend long, plus a bunch of additional perks. These rooms will go fast, so do not wait. And now, let's talk about some fun. Friday afternoon is Main Street Madness, a fast-paced, high-energy race through Disney Springs where you'll solve clues, complete challenges, and compete for some awesome prizes. Then on Saturday, it's the big one, the Main Street 16 Challenge. 1 day, 4 parks, 4 rides in each park, and an unforgettable adventure with fellow Disney lovers. And best of all, we're doing it all to support the Dream Team Project, raising money to help make wishes come true for children facing life-threatening illnesses. So book your room, sign up for the events, and join us for a magical weekend full of fun, friendship, and purpose. Head to mainstreet16.com to get started.
So good morning, everyone. While you're listening to this right now, as we speak, my sweet, amazing, well-deserved husband is sitting in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But he is sitting right next to me.
Now, yeah. Yeah, we're getting way ahead because of everything coming up. So I'm very, very excited. I'd already been planning to go to San Antonio with my brother for basically something that he's doing with his business and our business, since I work with him. And we were already going to San Antonio. We were already going to the Final Four. But what made it even better, and we're recording this on Sunday, March 30th, is that last night Duke beat Alabama to advance to the Final
Yes.
Four. I've been a Duke fan since I pretty much learned to walk, I think. And if anybody wonders, I don't know if I've covered that before, because one thing that's funny about being a Duke fan is so often the first thing people want to ask you is, did you go to Duke? And I always say no. I don't know why. Most of the time, I'm never going to see this person again. I should just be like, yeah, I graduated from Duke. I'm a doctor. They wouldn't know any different, right? So I should just say that. But anyway, it's a lot of people think because Duke has been so good for so long, much like teams like, you can go with, the Yankees and the Red Sox. I mean, just, you can go to all these different sports, and it's easy to become a fan of a team that's really good. Right? Why would you want to be a fan of a team that's not? But I'm fortunate because my mom grew up in Durham. Her whole family grew up in Durham. Still have family there. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, actually, her family moved to the Durham area because it was her dad, I believe, or her grandfather. Someone in my family was a bricklayer for the Duke Chapel when it was built. And so it's just been in my blood, I guess, my whole life, and going to Durham. And when you're in that area, you pick one of two sides.
Just like Florida.
Yeah.
You pick Florida State or Florida
Gators, right? So there you pick UNC or you pick Duke. Yep. And I don't remember when I made the decision, but growing up, my brother was originally a UNC fan because he was a big Michael Jordan fan.
Yep.
And so I think I just said, well, I'll be a Duke fan before I even knew what I was doing.
Right.
So I have been a fan for so long. I've watched every year, every season. Last time they won in 2015, I was lucky enough to be there in Indianapolis and got to see Duke win the Final Four then. Came home that Sunday, watched them win a championship on Monday. So I'm really hoping that same thing is going to happen this weekend. So don't know who they're playing yet because that game will be on later today.
Okay.
So anyway, I'll be in San Antonio. After that, we're doing our Small World Challenge in between or after a lot of working for both of us. Mm-hmm. We're doing our Small World Challenge on April 10th down in Disney World. You can learn more about that at mainstreet16.com. And then
we have to pack and get ready.
Pack and get ready for Disneyland.
We're going to Disneyland, y'all.
So
it's coming up so quick.
I know, and so we're getting way ahead. We've got a couple guests coming up on some episodes, but you're going to still get all the stuff every Tuesday and Friday. So hit subscribe. But today is not about the Final Four or Duke anymore. It was for the beginning. But we're going to talk about Memory Maker, but most importantly, we're going to talk about the attraction PhotoPasses, what rides and attractions they're available on, as well as where you can find them.
Yeah.
So something I know people love because a lot of times people want to strike a pose. Right?
Yes.
They want to be ready for that.
Yes, we do.
And sometimes you aren't.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk all about that, but let's just start off first. Just kind of, what is Memory Maker in just a quick sense?
Memory Maker is a product that allows you to download all of your PhotoPass, from the parks to the resorts to magic shots, all these things at one price.
Yeah, and what I think it does the best is it lets you enjoy those moments
without pulling your phone out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're gonna pull your phone out plenty of other times, right?
Yes.
Whether you're checking My Disney Experience for wait times, whether you're booking lightning lanes, whether you're making dining reservations, or you're simply taking photos in other areas. But when you are getting ready to get that photo in front of the castle, or again, you're on a ride.
Right.
You don't want to have to worry about getting out your phone and getting that picture and handing it off to a cast member. So you look for the bright neon green cast members and let them take those photos for you. And what's great is that it's all at one set price. So think of it almost like, you're going on a cruise. You don't have to worry about paying for dining once you get there.
Right.
You don't want to worry about paying for PhotoPass once you get there because you can pay for them individually. Right. So at the end of the day, you can go to one of the PhotoPass locations and you can say, I want to see my photos from today, scan my Magic Band, scan my card or whatever. I didn't get Memory Maker. And then you have to go through them. You go, I like this one. Don't like that one. Don't like, let me print these 4 or let me save these 4. And it's going to cost you per.
But that's going to be a lot of money.
It's going to be a lot of money.
When you could just get Memory Maker and get access to all the photos for 30 days.
Yeah.
And I mean, you have them 30 days. So like you could wait until you get home and kind of go through them on your phone and then upload them to Walgreens or your local place that you can get photos, because a lot of times too, they take quite a few pictures.
Yes, they do.
So, and even I've been like, oh wait, I was closing my eyes on that one.
Yeah.
So.
And here's the thing too. A lot of times you're right. They take multiple photos, and sometimes when you're handing them your cell phone, you're not getting that same amount of photos. And honestly, you're not getting the same quality,
Correct.
For the most part. Now, these are all trained photographers and professionals, but what they're able to do with the camera is so much more than what they're going to do with your phone.
Right.
So for one set price, you can go ahead and have this for your trip. So if you buy it as an advance purchase, which is 3 or more days before your trip, the whole thing is $185.
That's not bad at all.
It's not when you consider what you're going to get from this,
100%.
right? If you want to get it basically within 3 days or the same day, which is like immediate use, you can start using it then. It's $210. So
that's a couple of Mickey sandwiches.
It is, right? And there's no reason in that 3 days that you shouldn't have already decided that you're going to get it. You know what I mean? If 4 days from your trip you're unsure of it, just get it.
Right.
I mean, really, or you're going
Right.
to waste some money in the end.
Right.
Then if you just want 1 day memory maker, which does make sense if you're there for a short time, maybe you're only doing parks for a day during a weekend trip or getaway, it's $75. So,
And I would use that one, and we're about to talk about it more, but I would, if you're going to do something like that and see if you agree with me, I would completely pick it for Magic Kingdom.
100%. Yeah, because of everything you're going to get there. So what do you get with it? Well, you get unlimited downloads of your attraction, your ride photos and videos. And we're going to go through every one of them and where they're available. The PhotoPass photographers around the parks, as we said, your magic shots, which are those fun effects that they'll add.
Yes, I
they'll
love
tell you to put
that.
your hand out and you get Tinkerbell in it or something like
Yep.
that, or stare at, Pumbaa and Simone on the ground at Animal Kingdom. Then you're going to get it if there are, sometimes there are PhotoPass photographers at some of the character dining experiences that they'll be able to take them, as well as your character meet and greets. Now, there are photo passes at all the character meet and greets for the most part. They're not all humans anymore. Some of them are the photo boxes,
Right.
which we do not care for. But in those instances where there is a photo box, I would go ahead and take out your phone and I would hand it to the cast member to use as well. They will take photos with
Yep.
your phone at those.
Yep.
Because the photos you get from that photo box is not quite where it needs to be yet. It will be at some point.
Of course it
because
will.
they're basically just going to put a human computer brain in that thing, and it's probably going to use AI to distinguish and take photos and adjust settings and all. But for now, it does not. What's great, too, is that everyone in your My Disney experience that is linked to your account will also have access to those photos. So,
So if you do want people or if you don't.
yeah, if you don't want people to have access to your photos, don't link them up. And if you do, you link them up. But it's perfect because, in a situation where, let's just say, our family is going with your family to Disney World, just say, it's not as though we have to worry about buying PhotoPass and paying for it, and they have to buy
Right.
it. It will give them access because they're linked to the account.
Right.
So you only need to get one of those. Same thing as annual pass holders. We paid $99 for the entire year for Memory Maker. And only Rhonda has to do that because I'm linked to her account. I'm going to have access.
Right.
If we go with friends that don't have it and we have them linked to our My Disney experience, they're also going to get it. So it's great for something like that.
Yeah.
All right. How does it work? You got to... Okay, how does it work? All right. Talk about that. You're going up to PhotoPass photographer or ride photos and stuff. What do you do with the PhotoPass photographers, right?
Well, it's this neat new technology that usually people have a magic band on and you're already linked. But if you're not, you have to link up your magic band and everything. And it's, in your My Disney Experience account. And 90% of the time, they take the picture and then they want to scan your thing. Whatever you're using.
Yeah, and that can be the physical park ticket
Correct.
that you get. If you don't have anything because you got into the park using your phone or your watch or whatever it may be, they will give you a physical PhotoPass card that will then you'll have access to all day. Another one just to talk about, because I don't think a lot of people talk about this, at the water parks, there are often PhotoPass photographers.
There are.
So you can get some awesome PhotoPass
We've done
shots
that.
at the water parks. Either they're posed photos where they're kind of throughout, or we have gotten ones where your family's coming down the end of a slide and they happen to be standing there.
Yeah.
And it's really cool there because they have, now it's been a little while since we've got these, but I assume they still have them. They have little wristlets that they'll hand you. If you don't have a magic band or whatever it is to scan, and it's got a rubber band on it, on this little card wristlet, and you can use that for your photo passes throughout the day. You then go back and link that to My Disney Experience to give you access to all of those things. So,
And that's kind of like where sometimes during some of the resorts, there's also some PhotoPass people around.
Yeah.
It's not everyone, and
we experienced
sometimes
it twice at the Contemporary.
right, and
Yeah.
but sometimes it's they're there, and then sometimes they're not. So you just gotta look around.
Yeah, and when you're doing the ride photos, they will automatically link, usually.
Yes.
There are some areas, like I know, for example, in the queue for Cosmic Rewind, there is a QR code that you can scan just to make sure you're properly properly linked.
Right.
There are some touch points after some rides that you can scan, like Everest.
Right.
Dinosaur stopped
Dinosaur
doing
stopped
it, but
doing that.
some of those. Just go ahead and scan your Magic Banner card anyway, just to be
Tiana's.
safe. Yeah, Tiana's. They will show up automatically, but they might not show up automatically.
And I've been in both situations where I look thinking, oh, because I'm always wearing a Magic Band and the Magic Band Pluses. So I'm like, this is the up to date. This is, and then sometimes I don't have it. So on like Tiana's and Everest, for sure, I always go and see us and scan.
Yeah.
So
And again, this is a great way. You always see these folks at a Tiana's, at an Everest at the end. It shows the photo up on the screen, and it has PhotoPass watermarks on it, and they're taking a garbage photo with their phone of that photo on a screen with the PhotoPass over it.
Yeah.
And I understand $185 can be a lot of money when you've already built in all this budget and these costs for everything else you're doing. Start building that in from the beginning, because $185, if you have some money to save in other places, I really do think this is worth it, especially for these ride photos.
100%.
Because there's no other way to get them without the chance of getting in trouble or losing your phone. Do you really want to be trying to take a selfie on Everest?
Oh my gosh. Or Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Yes.
I mean, they don't have a PhotoPass on there, but I saw an iPhone on the ground.
Yeah. So you don't want to risk that.
Nope.
If things go awry and for whatever reason you don't get your PhotoPass, in my Disney experience, you can actually go to Disney's website. Of course, they're still using disneyworld.disney.go.com. Right, /PhotoPass /contact-us. And there is a form to fill out. What is very useful for that form, and I will tell you, out of any times we have had a photo missing and I've done this form, I have received our photo 95% of the time.
That's awesome.
And that was because we were prepared. So you want to just take note when you fill out that form, have an idea of around what time it was that day.
Yeah, what you were wearing.
And obviously where you were.
Yeah.
So, we often, and what's great is my Disney experience will send you a push notification when you have a new photo available. So let's just say you get off of Haunted Mansion, for example, and 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes go by. You're in your next queue and you're like, I don't think we got our PhotoPass. You look it up and you go, we sure didn't. Just take a note of around what time it is. So when you go fill that form, you say, well, it's about 2:30. We were riding Haunted Mansion. I was wearing, my black Disney Magic Kingdom My Chemical Romance mashup shirt that I just got from the Lost Bros, right?
Okay.
And when you go and put that in, within usually 24 to 48 hours, they have found that photo. So you can go ahead and they'll link it right to your account. So,
and it also comes up where other people's photos, and you're like, that's not me.
That's not me.
But it's nice because they do, like, you just review them. Yeah. And if it's not you, you move on without a selection. And there you go.
And another thing I've seen a lot of people do, and of course, Rhonda's not in the socials the way that I am, is you go to some of these big groups. You could go to Main Street Magic Community. There's obviously ones bigger than us, like the Magical Guide groups. And a lot of times people will post photos in there of other people that aren't them. And they'll say, hey, I accidentally got this photo. If it's yours, here it is. So you might even be able to join some of those groups and go in and just in case find your photo. So let's talk about what everybody's really here for. And that is, where are the ride attraction photos? Because you either... a lot of times you want to pose for these. You want to get a good shot because sometimes you won't.
Right.
So we're going to start in Magic Kingdom. Mm-hmm. We're going to start with Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. This is where the photo is for now.
I just started to say.
When we just got word, I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either, but I'm super excited.
Yeah. So if you don't know, they are going to shut down Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin in August here, a couple months away. And they're going to reopen it in 2026. They're going to completely redo all the ride vehicles. They're going to redo all the targets so that now they are going to be color. They're going to be, when they're hit, they're going to light up.
Nice.
And what's even cooler is you are going to have a removable laser gun. So it is no longer going to be fixed. It's going to be more similar to what's out in Disneyland that we'll get to see here in a few weeks.
Yay!
So you're going to be able to remove them. And from my understanding, the aiming is going to be better, and your lasers in your ride vehicle will be color-coded.
Nice.
So, for example, what it's sounding like is mine is blue, yours is red. You know, you got to think of Toy Story Mania, right?
Yes.
And I will
super
shoot
excited.
a target, and mine is blue. It'll light up blue. And I know, hey, I hit that target.
Wow.
So that's going to be cool. But right now, this is at the end with your final encounter with Emperor Zurg. It's towards the right side.
Right.
So once you start to know where these are, often you can be ready for them.
Yep.
And you can get a great photo.
Yeah.
If you don't want to know where they are and you just want to be caught by surprise, then just turn off the episode and tune into the next episode, right? Because we're going to spoil it for all of you. Let's go into Haunted Mansion. I think one of our favorite photos. Where is Haunted Mansion's ride photo?
Yes, it occurs near the paintings on the wall, but specifically the Medusa one. When you're going down the first hallway and everything, and of course, you know, where the lightning strikes and they change, that's where the picture.
Yeah,
that's
where
when
it'll
that
flash it.
happens.
Yeah, so this is a good one to kind of pose and get ready for.
Yeah.
When you're fortunate enough and blessed like we are to go so often, we tend to have the little conversation, you know, what are we going to do for the ride photo? And so a lot of times we'll just try and do poses, do something funny or silly. Don't be inappropriate. They will not give you your ride photo.
Correct.
Keep your clothes on, right?
Yes.
No obscene gestures.
Nope.
It can be cute for a willing couple to give each other a kiss. Sometimes those won't make it through. Unfortunately, that one's a little silly, but maybe they think there's more hanky panky going on. I don't know. So just, you know, be respectful of it. Here's a good point. Well, depending maybe on who your mom is, but don't do something in that photo that you wouldn't want your mom to see, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's just something to think about, you know,
100%.
because you honestly may not get it. And you don't want to ruin that chance. If it's your only time riding Haunted Mansion and you want to do something silly and goofy that could make it where you don't get your photo, then you lost out. And they're not going to give it to you. So just a note. All right, let's go to another one of our favorites, I think.
Yeah.
Is Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, where is this?
Well, it's funny because I don't remember where it used to be, because I feel like it used to be somewhere, but so basically it's when you're about to go down the drop. Yeah. Really. And there's a ship on your right and then a skull and a guy kind of on your left. Yep. And and again, it's kind of rainy and it lightnings, and then it takes that picture. So if you're looking at the ship on your right, you're going to completely miss the picture on your left.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you want to. I mean, you want to
look
at the
up
skull,
to the
right? The skull and crossbones. I think it has. What I love about this one is you're in a dark space. You get a bright flash.
Yes, you do.
It disorients you a little bit as you go into this drop.
Yep.
So it adds, honestly, it's one of the ride photos that I think adds, much like Haunted Mansion. It actually adds to the experience. For a lot of these, this one specifically, I feel like, because you are in a ride vehicle with several rows.
Yeah.
Just be weary of not only who's in front of you to make sure that you're not blocked, but maybe a little bit behind you too. You know, like you want to make sure if you've got people sitting in front of you, which you are, unless you're in the front row, you might just want to make sure that you're angling yourself where maybe you're between them or you're sitting a little more upright. You know, you're doing something to make sure you get captured, because a lot of times in these ones specifically, you can get Mike Wazowski, right?
Yeah.
And you're so excited, and next thing you know, you got some guy's hat covering your face or half your face or something. Yeah. Because you were at a weird angle. So just, again, something to think about as you're getting ready for those. All right, let's move on to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Some of these, a couple, not only have a ride photo, but they also take a ride video.
Yeah, and this is one of them that does.
Where's this one located for? You can be ready.
Well, it's super crazy because I think there's a couple of them, but for sure the one is on the first big hill when you
As soon as you come
descend.
out,
Right.
and you go down,
Yeah.
and you can see them. You can see the cameras.
Yep.
They're to your right,
Mm-hmm.
so you can look up that way, and it'll do both photo and video. And then,
think
I
there's
swear
another
there's one
one.
coming out of the
Yeah.
cavern
Yeah.
with the 7 dwarves when you do that drop as
I
well.
think that, yes.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, the first one is a photo, and I believe that one is the video.
yeah.
I think they're 2 separate locations. I could be
Okay.
wrong, but I think
No, I
that's-
think you're right.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
What I like about these photos is they catch you at the time before you realize that this ride is way too short for the 90 minutes you just spent in line,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're still happy, you're excited,
Yep.
and you get this big payoff coming out of the cavern, and then you're like, oh, that's it? Oh, what the heck? Are we getting ready to go again? But you're not.
No.
So, let's move on to Tron, Light Cycle Run. Where are these? Because it is at the same time, it not only captures your photo, but it does a really great video.
Oh yeah, it's the initial launch. You stop and then all of a sudden you just take off.
Yep.
And that's where it's at, and it's super super cool.
Yeah. It'll do the video as you're coming around the corner, and then
Yeah.
it does the photo snaps at your launch.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I think is really cool with one like Tron is you can try and pose all you want, but there's a thrill aspect to it that
I do.
sometimes it really does. I know
I've
we've
done
had some
really
good
well.
poses, but sometimes it's hard to, and it will catch you
Yeah.
in a really cool moment. Like I
Yeah.
think it's something that's more exciting sometimes than a pose, because it gets the actual kind of element of you and where you are at that point,
Yeah.
which is really, really cool.
I've actually had people like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Next, we're talking about Space Mountain.
Yes. Where is Space Mountains?
When you come straight out of the gate, like
Yeah,
when
that
you-
original tunnel.
Right, yep.
It's the neon blue.
Yep. When
kind
you're
of
like,
flashing
yep.
lights as soon as you're coming. As soon as you come out of there, right around that corner,
Mm-hmm.
as you're getting ready to turn, it'll take a flash there.
Yeah.
And my face usually looks like, why am I doing this again? and I'm frightened.
Yeah.
So, all right, and finally at Magic Kingdom, we're going to talk about Tiana's Bayou Adventure. If you it did Splash Mountain plenty of times. When it was
Mm-hmm. Yes, it
Splash
did.
Mountain, it's at the exact same spot.
Exact same.
It's at a perfect spot.
Yep.
Pose all you want.
Yep.
Let's see what
Try
you
to.
actually get. Where is it?
It is as you come down the big giant drop. And the reason I say that is because there's quite a few little drops. And I'll never forget one of the first times the kids rode it. They knew, because you can stand on the bridge and see the big drop.
Yeah.
So the girls would be like, is this it?
Yeah.
Is this it? And then
You know who else did that? Tina. Do you remember when we rode with Tina for the first time?
yeah.
And so every time we'd get ready to come up and go on a little drop, I'd be like, hold on, Tina, this is it. This is it. And then we'd go down like a little one.
Yeah.
So we psyched her out 3 or 4 times.
That's
But
funny.
this one is so much fun, I think, to also stand on that bridge and watch.
Yeah.
And watch the people coming down. You can see the flash go off.
Yep.
Especially at nighttime.
Yep.
It is to your left as well, this camera.
Yes.
And this is a fun one to kind of capture what you can. This is another one, though, that is very easy to get Mike Wazowski'd because people like to put their hands up, obviously.
Yes.
And so a lot of times you will have people blocking you with their arms or whatever it may be. So, again, you just can kind of, if you think that might happen as you're getting ready to go down, you see them putting your hands up, you might be able to lean one way or the other slightly just to make sure you're still in the frame, especially if you're in one of those rows that's further back.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to Epcot. We're going to start with Frozen Ever After. I know this is one of your favorite rides over at Epcot.
I love it.
Where does
It's
this one
super
capture
fun.
you? It's a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, so it is the drop after encountering Marshmallow. So right at like while you're dropping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you remember
So-
when you come up the incline to see Elsa outside
Yep.
of the ice castle, and you turn and then you go backwards
Yep.
through that portion of the ride. You get to this point and then you're facing Marshmallow, the huge snowman,
Yep.
and all his little buddies.
Yep.
And as soon as you come down that drop, that's where it is.
Yeah.
So that one, I believe is to your left.
I believe so too.
Yeah.
Kind of like Pirates.
Yes.
So you kind of need to be looking
Yeah.
that way. But there's nice because there's nothing on your right side.
Yeah, there's nothing to distract you.
Right,
Like
like there
Pirates.
is in Pirates.
Yeah, very much so.
Because I remember, I think when it came out, because like I said, I really don't remember prior where that was, and and I don't know if because so many people weren't looking at the skull, but I remember those pictures a long time ago. Like, you're all like not looking
Yeah, you're
at
looking
all.
everywhere.
So
Yeah. Next up, currently closed, Test Track. We got Test Track 3.0 coming this summer.
do you think this
I'm guessing it's
picture
going to
will
be in the same location.
spot?
We don't know what the inside's going to look like completely,
Right.
obviously, but I still think the location that it has been at previously is going to be where it is in the future. And where exactly is that?
That is when you start your high-speed outdoor acceleration
Those doors open,
Yep.
right? And you come down, you get ready to come out, you come down that slight little hill, and as soon as you take off to the right,
Yep.
you're going to see
To
a
the
big
right.
camera. Yeah. They look like speed radar cameras you would see out
They kind of do.
driving around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like exactly what it looks like. It's going to be up there. It's going to take a photo.
Yep.
I think this is another fun one to just kind of be ready for, you know? This
And girls, be careful with your hair.
Yes, I was going to say, I was hoping you'd bring that up because there's another one
Yep.
we really got to bring up.
Yep.
This is one, if you have long hair
And it's down.
and it's down, it may be the time to put it up or
hold
put
it.
it in a hat or, hold
Just
it behind
hold
you
it.
or something. Yeah. So, because otherwise you're either, now this one not as much as the next one we're going to talk about.
But I've had
this is
my-
one that can ruin the photos behind you and they look like Cousin It because your hair is completely covering their face, right? And for you, that's a lot of hair, right? So you got to be careful with this one. But maybe, put it up in a ponytail or a man bun if that's your thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or throw a hat on and keep it
Yeah.
down. So
Well, you got to be careful with the hats too.
that can come
because-
off. That is true. So you might not want to go the hat route. I'm thinking though, for like you've done on Tiana's, is you wear the hat and you put your hair through the back of the hat, and that holds your hat on.
It
basically.
does, but I will not
flipped up
lie.
though, right?
It has, and I've had to grab it after the picture.
No, that is a great point. You want to be careful with hats on a few of these.
You do.
Yep.
But specifically Tiana's, when I did, yes, my hair is going through it. It's fine. I'm not going to lose it. But it is going to come off my head part.
Yeah. Remember the fun photos just flipped up way in the air?
Yeah. But for sure, Test Track. I have totally like
what's the next? Let's move on to the next one because hair don't care.
Cosmic Rewind,
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. This is photo snapped when you're turning around from the backward launch. And I guess the way the wind and the stuff
Yeah, that
inside
turn
that
coming.
turn. Yes, I have.
It's flipped Rhonda's hair completely in front of her face.
Yeah.
Where she does look like Cousin It.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, you can't even see facial features at all.
No.
So that is a good one to go ahead and put in a ponytail or tie
Yes.
it up or something.
It was one of the first times I wrote it. I learned this and I was like, oh, this is I need to fix this. So
And this is a hard one. This is one where we really want to let you know where it is because it is hard. You can ride this. I know we rode it the first couple times and we went and looked at the ride photos and we're still like, where the heck are they taking this?
Yeah.
Because while there's a flash, obviously, there's so much going on. You're spinning, the music's starting. You're realizing there's the song I got.
Right.
You're coming into all this other air. There's so much going on. It can be hard to know. Post for this all you want. You're not gonna be able to almost. This one to me is the most natural photo you're gonna get almost out of any of them.
yeah.
You know, like, and for us, it's so funny. I bet almost I could go back and look at every ride photo from Cosmic. We have 50 of them. And I bet a majority of them, I can tell you whether we got a song we liked or not.
That's true.
Because
Now,
there's either a huge smile on our faces or there's one like, oh, it's Iran again.
Right. Now, do you think you have every single one? Like, do you get rid of them? Because I know we download them and save them to put them on Facebook.
We'd have to find them. I mean, again, because as pass holders, we lose ours in a year.
Right.
So we do have a full year to get them.
Right.
No, I probably do not have all 50 photos in my phone, but I probably have a large portion of them. And with how cool iPhone is now, I could look up Cosmic Rewind in my photos and search, and it should show me all those. You can look up things.
I know,
Have you not
but
looked it up and looked up? You
Yes.
can look up dog.
I did, and I
What's your
have done
favorite
that
every dog?
100% because I've
Maybe
looked up
my first girlfriend. What was that?
what? Because I've looked up nails and stuff because I've
Yeah.
looked, but Cosmic Rewind.
It's
okay.
location based too, though. those photos have location. If you swipe up on a photo in iPhone, and right now every Android user is going, we've had that for 7 years. If you swipe up on a photo, it gives you all the details. Usually it'll show location, and it will show the settings and everything of the actual camera. Okay. So that part's pretty cool.
Mine doesn't do it. It just pulls up apparently Cosmic Rewind.
Oh, that's when you have some screenshots of some...
screenshot of Lightning Lane.
I'll have to check it later, but I'm sure there's something...
It's 2022, by the way.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't need this anymore.
No,
I think I'll delete
it. You probably don't need that one unless we need proof. Now it's gone forever. All right, let's move on to Hollywood Studios. We're going to start with Rock and Roller Coaster. Where can you find this one? This is another one that I think is so fun because...
Do you think it'll change?
Ready. With Muppets, no, because you're looking at this is the launch point, right? Okay,
yeah,
this is the first launch point.
Yeah, right when you boom go out.
Yep, I think
Tron. I feel like
just like Tron, and just like Test Track. And it's not the first launch, but it is your only launch, and that's later in the ride. But Test Track gets redone. I still think it's the perfect photo spot.
I agree.
When this turns to Muppets Mayhem, I think it's still the first or the best photo spot.
I agree.
This one, if you are so inclined, I bet a majority of the poses that people make are with the little, kind of devil horns, rock on symbol. We do that most of the time. One of my favorites from this was riding with Kaylin, and I said, I'm going to pose and try and match what her face I think is going to look like on this ride. And I hit it pretty well.
Good.
So that one was a lot of fun. All right, what's up next?
Slinky Dog Dash.
Yeah.
So this actually occurs more towards the end.
Yeah.
It's after you do the series of the 4 small hills, which I don't really love.
It is my least favorite part of any ride that I love.
And then you're coming, after that, then you're coming around that corner.
Yeah.
And that's where they're at.
Yeah.
And they're on both sides, I think.
Is it? God, we haven't ridden Slinky Dog.
Right. But there's the 2, and maybe it's not 2, it's just the similar, box, whatever, not a Lego, but a block.
Yeah,
thing.
The building blocks and
right.
all. Yeah.
And the camera's in one, but it's super cute. It's fun.
Do you think there's another? Can you think of another ride in Disney World that the first half is awesome, and the second half is kind of a big letdown over Slinky Dog? Is it just me? I do not care for the ride after that second launch.
Yeah.
Something's weird about the silence. First of all, it's weirdly quiet.
Yeah.
I wish there was some sort of background noise or music or something playing. And then I don't like those 4 up and down little bumps, and I don't like the fact that you can see backstage of Galaxy's Edge. Where are we at? Universal?
Ooh, that's the only part that to me I really enjoyed because we would ride it for so long. And was watching the building of it.
That was cool then, yeah.
You get to the tippy top and you're like, oh, look, it's so cool. And we would just every time we'd be looking and looking. And now, you just kind of look and you're like, oh, okay.
I wish it was I love the initial launch when you go up that big loop, the big, I don't know what to call it. It's its own little top hat. It's like a kitty top hat.
Right.
I wish it was there as you go up, either at the moment you're at the top or as soon as you're coming down that drop. I think would be the perfect spot for a PhotoPass location as opposed to where it is.
Right.
So anyway, enough about, and then we do love the ride. I think that the first half is so good. And it's not that the second half is bad. The first half is so good. The second half, I think, is a letdown, basically. So, all right. We got one more at Hollywood Studios. At the end, we'll talk about what our favorite ride photo is. This might be mine. I'm not sure.
I'm is this yours? We're talking about the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. And this is snapped during one of the drop sequences. I have no idea where it is. I have no idea when it is. I have no idea nothing. And this is also where you get your video. So I don't know. But all I know is at night, you can see the flash. Yeah. But that's about it. Yep. That's all.
I love this one because it's pretty much every time going to catch you off guard.
Yeah, because you don't know where it's
right,
at.
Exactly. But But here's one like, okay, get on Tower of Terror. We've ridden it, 100 times at least, probably more. If we've ridden Cosmic 50,
right,
we've ridden Tower 100
right.
Easy, right?
Okay.
Try and ride that, and since you're not 100% sure where the camera is, just maintain the pose you want for the whole ride. Okay? You think you can do that? No, you can't.
No.
Right? And especially when every ride is random.
Mm-hmm.
The drop sequences are all randomized. Mm-hmm. So you really, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Correct.
And this will
and then I'm like,
catch
I'm
you.
done. Be done. And then
I love
thank
it.
God it usually is.
Oh, this one, so good. I might have one that'll contend with it when we get to the end and we talk about our favorite.
Okay.
But let's move on to Animal Kingdom. We got 2 more rides. Dinosaur is what we're going to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Again, when this turns into the Indy ride,
Right.
I don't know where this will be because this isn't at a specific point of what's happening.
This is a specific dinosaur.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Carnotaurus.
Carnotaurus. What is it? The
how you say that?
Carnotaurus.
The big
giant one at the end. Not the
one.
first one. Not the first one that runs at you.
Right.
It's the second one. You're coming around a turn and it pauses for a second. And what's great about this one is you don't have to worry about where the camera is. You're going to look at it because it's where the dinosaur is.
Right. And it's a big giant dinosaur.
Yeah. So even on your first ride, if you haven't listened to this episode, I don't know what you're doing. You should have. But you're going to look at the dinosaur and it's going to catch you. And it's going to catch you usually at a great moment of fear.
Yeah. Usually.
You know, unless you're me and you pause, then I usually try and make like a scared, stupid face or something. Or I'll pretend I'm asleep or something like that because I'm a funny guy. Let's move on to the very last one. One of my favorite rides ever, Expedition Everest.
Yep.
They could turn this into anything they want, and they're not changing the PhotoPass location. It is at the most perfect spot ever. Where is it?
And that is at the giant downward drop.
Yeah. Towards the end. So you go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler alert if you've never been on it. You come up and you're held for a second. You're going to come down the drop forward for the first time again.
Right.
And it's as soon as you come out of that mountain. And I mean, again, this is one that you can pose for, but it's harder. It's harder to pose for because of the exciting moments.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I got the girls to ride it the one time and they didn't want to, and I said I will dab for when dabbing was a thing?
Oh yeah.
Whatever happened to dabbing? I'm so glad that's something that's gone. and I said, Dad, we will ride it with you if you will dab for the photo. And I did.
Yep.
And then I deleted the photo immediately. I might still have it somewhere.
You
Just
probably
go to photos and search dab. Let's see what happens. Probably not.
I don't think so.
So that will cover all of your ride photos for Walt Disney World.
Yeah, and I'm hoping with like some, updating and things
well, how about
that
the
they're
new
going
stuff
to
that
do.
we got coming, right?
Yeah,
imagine the possible ones in Villains Land.
Because I do feel like Magic Band Plus, I've noticed even on some more rides that they've maybe lit up or done some more things. So
get a little interaction with the band.
Yeah, I'm hoping. And then, if they go to refurb for just a month or two, maybe they could put some more stuff in. So,
or can you think?
Never know.
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm putting myself on the spot. Can you think of any current ride that you wish had a PhotoPass that doesn't?
Well, Big Thunder Mountain was one that used to. I feel like that doesn't. So they're redoing the track.
Yep.
I hope they put it back, or I hope they add it.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like if they're gonna do all the things, they're gonna make blow up things. They're gonna, they're replacing the track.
In Disneyland.
Yeah.
Because of some of the ending effects and the fireworks stuff.
Speaking
the
of that,
I mean,
do we have PhotoPass for out there?
So out there, people are yelling at me that know Disneyland because I was just looking at it. You buy it closer to the day or day of or something, I believe, is their option. Yeah.
We need
to
get it.
I 100% we will get it.
Okay.
Yeah. I meant to tell Lucy we're going to get it so they can enjoy our photo passes as well because they definitely
we're linked.
want it out there.
And how much is that for Disneyland?
I have no idea. This isn't an episode on the Disneyland.
Oh.
I am only just diving into some of the research I need to. I have to relearn basically Genie Plus again because their Lightning Lane works more like what Genie Plus did. You can
but we already have that.
Yeah, we've paid for it.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have it technically because that's one you can't book until the day of once you have scanned into the park.
Okay.
It also has that 2-hour time restriction that Genie Plus had. So
we need to make sure we have all the rechargeable batteries.
Oh, yeah. Well, we already need to either borrow or look at some additional rechargeable batteries for our April 10th Small World Challenge, because we're going to be doing a lot of live streaming and social that day, and we're going to need as many backups as we can, I think, for that. But yeah, I love the ride photos. I think Memory Maker is so worth it.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite ride photo that's at Disney World, do you think?
I don't know. It's
while
hard.
you're thinking, I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
Disney, if you're listening, can we please have an option for either just the photo or the photo with your silly, goofy overlays? Because it used to be you could get just a photo. Now every single one, pretty much, I believe, has the overlay, the frame around it. Sometimes I don't want that. You just want a photo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
As cool as Cosmic Rewind looks with the way they frame it and they kind of just zero your car out only, I'd love to see just a raw one that shows kind of the stuff around it and the ride around it. Like, I miss that. Every single one, they got to put some dumb frame and overlay around it. And I don't want to print that and put it on my wall. I want to print just the ride photo. And if I want to add something to it, let me add to it. You know what I mean? So, but did you think of your favorite? Mine is probably Cosmic. I think my favorite ride.
I started to say one of that, or I started to say or Tron, just because I think
Tron's
where it's
fun.
at, and then like how it's got us, and then like again, like when I was Sally dressed for the, and I just pretended like I was like dead or whatever. It was just, they were like, how did you
I had my
do
arms,
that?
I had my arms like in the cross of
they
them.
were very much
and
like.
then on Tron, I remember the one time you pretended you were sleeping, and people were like, "How did you sleep?" Like, because a lot of folks, they're like, they don't know that we know where every single one is, and we're kind of ready for them.
But it's still like it's hard like doing that, because I don't know exactly when it takes. So I'm literally being launched, still pretending to sleep, and like you're like,
that's the awkward one, because the awkward one is sometimes
then I hold on.
Yeah, you got to hold it. You got to hold the pose.
You do,
because even when we know where they are, to time that flash at the perfect second, might be hard. So sometimes you're just posing like an idiot for 20, 30 seconds, just to make sure you can try and hold it when you go into something like that. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully this will help for your next trip. If you are going back, you've done PhotoPass before, but you weren't sure where these were, now you can know, and you can be ready for them. Let the whole family know. Do some fun poses. Just, again, make them appropriate so you get your photos at the end, because otherwise you spend all that money for nothing. So if you want to hear all about everything coming up, including, we're going to do, actually the next episode is going to be the things we're looking forward to most at Disneyland.
Oh.
Right? Got a couple guests coming on. We're going to talk about the Disney treasure. We're going to talk about our friend Gary's trip to Disneyland Paris. Then we got a couple more to sprinkle in there, including one about talking about the Small World Challenge. Again, if you want to learn more about Main Street 16 weekend, you want to get your room booked, want to register, all that good stuff, you can go to mainstreet16.com. Of course, if you want to get all this info that's coming out, all these fun episodes, hit subscribe and you'll get them every Tuesday and Friday. And if you are ready for that next trip, of course, no matter where you want to go, our trusted partner, MEI Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. And then, of course, as long as you are out there, both Rhonda and I would be super duper thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.